Hey everybody, welcome to How to Avoid Buying an RV Nightmare. My name's Tony Flamme. I'm with the National RV Training Academy, and with me is Brenda Puckett. She is a Certified National RV Inspectors Association Inspector. All right, today we're talking about what if, and these are great questions that we got. What if a salesperson says, no need for an inspection, we do a PDI?
Do you know what a PDI is?
I believe it stands for Pre-Delivery Inspection.
In theory, yes. And it should hopefully be getting done before they leave the factory, and then again, or sometimes it's the only time, it's happening on the local level, hopefully at the dealership. And the unfortunate part of that definition is that it varies from factory to factory and dealer to dealer.
And in our last episode, you said they were burning and
churning and burning.
Churning and burning. Yeah. So fast that maybe things are slipping through.
Yep.
Now, in the last video, and if you haven't seen it yet, this is the first one. Go back to the first one we did. I had a little confession. I have to admit, when I was doing the walkthrough PDI with the person I purchased my new RV with, it was a little rough.
Was it?
It was. I had a double battery holder in the front of our trailer, and they had one battery in it. Thank God I looked. Right? Mm-hmm. If I had an inspector look at it, that probably would have had two batteries in it from the get-go. But I asked the guy, I said, hey, shouldn't there be two batteries in there? And he goes, oh, no, they come with one. And me, knowing the RV industry as well as I do, I was like, if it only came with one, there is no chance that manufacturer would have put a double box there. They would have put a single box there and saved the money, right?
Exactly.
So I looked it up, and sure enough, I found the model. It comes with two batteries. Mm-hmm. So these guys, there's nothing wrong with dealerships, and
right.
They're really there's a lot of great dealerships out there, and we're not dogging them at all. But a lot of the guys that are doing these PDIs have been pulled off the street. They've been ran through just a little bit of training, so they really don't know. And their job is to partly help you get through the systems, but also save face a little bit when they only put one battery in a two battery bank. Mm-hmm. The other thing we had was there was no spare tire.
Oops.
The cord was hanging down,
oh,
and there was a little thing that would hold the tire, but there's no spare tire.
Did they catch that?
I caught it during my inspection.
Mm-hmm. The Tony inspection.
But when I went to look at it during the PDI, the walkthrough, I was like, you know what? The tread didn't look the same, so I should go look at this thing. And sure enough, it was one of those China bomb tires that are known to explode. But yet the rig I got comes with Goodyear tires, really nice tires that they were proud of. Mm-hmm. And so I was really surprised. So, when you're doing a PDI, I guess what they're trying to do is walk you through the systems to show you how to use it. But by that point, if you haven't done an inspection yet, you've already paid your money. You've already gone too far, right?
Yes, I agree.
I mean,
well, and to your point, some dealerships, when I get called in, if I'm actually going to a dealership and it's not a private seller, sometimes they will ask for me to come before the PDI has been performed. Let me find my things, and then their techs can fix, or complete whatever I have found, and then they'll follow up and do the final version of it before it's handed off. And sometimes it's the other way around. They don't want to waste time. They'll do it in reverse. It just depends. But
well, this really brought up just before we started shooting this, if you've gotten to the PDI and you haven't inspected your rig yet, it's too late. You're pretty much at the mercy of, if something is wrong with that unit, you need to run it through their service, and you're basically, you purchased it already. So the time to get an inspection would be before you sign on the dotted line that you're purchasing this unit, because the PDI you do with the dealer is after you purchased it. So if a salesperson says no need to get an inspection, we inspect at the PDI, well, at that point you already bought it. Mm-hmm. It's yours now. Mm-hmm. So with an inspection before the PDI, they have to fix the stuff where, you have the opportunity to walk away.
Exactly. And some people are using the language, I am making this purchase contingent upon a third-party inspection. We use that language in the real estate industry, and I really like that. And they're saying, I am not going through, and you can make sure there's language in your agreement if you want. but also make sure that it's being held with some type of deposit so they don't try to sell
Sure.
it out from under
Sure.
you. But that's a good way to phrase
That's
that.
normal.
It's contingent upon a third-party inspection, and I want to hire, meaning if I'm the buyer, I want to hire the neutral party.
Now, when I was buying my rig, I stopped at a smaller RV lot, and I asked them, "Do you guys allow third-party inspections?" And they didn't know, so they said they'd get back to me. We looked around the lot. We found a couple rigs we liked, but nothing that we fell in love with. So we weren't too, sore on them not providing inspections if they came back and said they wouldn't. Well, they called me 2 weeks later and said, "No, we don't." I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
So when you're dealing with a dealership that will not allow you to have a third-party inspection, what's the take there? I mean, and if they have the RV that you really want, what do you do?
We have a big discussion just like this one going on amongst all of the certified RV inspectors, and it's really a disservice to the customer by not allowing them to do that. Is it a red flag? Maybe. I mean, you might look online and see what their reviews are like for that particular dealership. What I try to do is I will go and introduce myself to the sales manager and the salesperson that my potential client is interacting with, and explain to them that we're really on the same team. We want our client to make a good informed decision, and I want to provide them with the best information so that they feel like they're making a good decision, and we all want our customer to be happy in the end. So I do think that there's something to be said about the inspector, setting that tone and building that foundation in there. And yes, it's going to be up to the buyer to do a little bit of research on their own to find out about that particular dealership and just press a little bit more and say, what would be the harm. The unfortunate part of what's going on in our industry right now with this inventory being so low is if you don't buy it, there's probably somebody right on your heels that is going to buy it. So you ultimately might have to make the decision to walk away if they're really insistent on not allowing you to have that inspection.
Yeah, and typically the problems that you guys find aren't necessarily the cosmetic, the stuff that are just glaring at you. It's the stuff that comes to bite you typically the day after warranty runs out.
Exactly, and I was going to mention that. The PDI and what we do at the certified RV level is there's simply no comparison. One of the packages that I offer, the premier level package, it could have over 500 points of inspection on there. I am on top, underneath, inside, outside, touching every square inch of that RV. It will take me all day to take a look at that thing. And there's just no comparison. That PDI might have been done in 30 minutes. It might have taken a few hours, but we're putting all the systems and components through the paces, and we'll know every single thing about that. You also get this beautiful interactive report at the end of our job showing everything that we inspected and all of our findings, so that you can take that and either give it back to the dealership and say, let's get these things taken care of before I leave the lot, and hopefully before you leave the lot. Otherwise you're going to be dealing with dragging it back there for warranty items.
Well, I had talking back to the first episode here, I did my own inspection and I did miss a few things. One of them was I hate saying this. I forgot I had my electrical outlet checker, and I checked every outlet in the rig except for the island. I forgot there was a GFI there on one side. I walked right by it like 30 times, and it wasn't until we went out on our first trip that the GFI, the outlet that follows that GFI, which happens to be the outdoor kitchen, the outlet on the other side of the island, none of them worked.
Yeah.
And so I went to reset the GFI, it didn't reset. And being that I've gone through some NRVTA training, I pulled it off, pulled the load side off, and tried to check it again. It wouldn't reset, meaning the line going to it from the breaker, there was some kind of ground issue. And sure enough, they drove a screw through it.
Did they? Yeah.
Yep.
And that
they
kind
had
of
to
stuff happens.
rerun a wire.
Well,
now,
and then now you get to take it back and either sit in line with everybody else to get warranty items done. And that's a big pain right now. It could take weeks or months.
Imagine this. Imagine if I bought that down in Florida.
Exactly.
And I brought it to Texas. You know, it's just such an inconvenience that it doesn't make sense.
Well, and it's time off the road. If you're a full timer, it's time off the road, and it's just a big waste. Now, I have had people, when you were talking about maybe the dealership not allowing the third party inspection, I've had clients come to me after, and I know several other inspectors offer this same service. They'll come to me after the fact to do the inspection then, so that they can go ahead and start tallying up any of those warranty items, and also give them a custom owner orientation and walkthrough, because we all know that those are pretty
yeah, when I did
slim.
mine, the guy, you know, he started pointing out things, and I said, no, that's actually what this does. And then it
you were
goes,
schooling him.
he said, so you know about the RV? I was like, well, I mean, I don't know everything about it. A lot of this is, you know, a lot of these systems are new. And he goes, okay, well, let me know if you need anything. And he left
That was your walkthrough.
after 10 minutes.
Wow.
You know, but, you know, granted, he was new.
Yeah. And that is the case. So we can help on that front end or after the sale, but
Yep.
it's definitely an important item.
All right, so next episode, we're going to talk about the most common things we see when doing an inspection. So we're probably going to have some cool little pictures, huh? Maybe?
Yes.
Maybe? All right.
Yes.
Stick with us, and we'll see you on the next episode.